Why, hello there. And welcome to a Monday stream. To a Monday morning. I don't know. I was trying to think of something else, like a Monday. I don't know. A mundane Monday? Olivia Monday? I haven't had my regular dose of coffee. I'm trying to cut back on caffeine just a little bit because I'm a absolute fiend for it. So I'm trying to adjust my brain parts. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the show. We've got a lot to go over today. This stuff kind of dropped on Friday, okay? And to be completely honest with you guys, I was actually trying to do a video on this on Saturday, but there's just like too much going on. I wasn't able to do it. And so I was like, you know what? We'll just talk about it on Monday. We'll just go over it. This is a big Hollywood Reporter exclusive about some big changes that have happened to the Disney Plus shows, the Marvel Disney Plus shows. And so I want to talk about that and get into all of that. I'm sure there's other stuff that we could get into as well. I see somebody in chat talking about Monkey D. Luffy, and dude, I will just say, we finished that show last night, the live action One Piece. What a good time, man. What a good time. I highly recommend that show. By the way, how many of you guys have actually seen that show? Throw one into the chat. How many of you have actually seen the live action One Piece? Let me know, chat. Yeah. Dude, it's actually good. So, look, I think they've been trying to crack the code with like live action anime for a long time. Right? It's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of like things that happen in anime and tropes, and also just the way anime uses actual animation in really fun, interesting ways. And, you know, they've been close a couple times here and there, but for the most part, they're pretty awful. The live action things are pretty awful. In fact, it's ironic because there's been memes of the Netflix anime adaptation. Like, there's legitimately memes about it. Oh my God, it is Labor Day. Hey, let's call the stream there. Let's call the stream there. It's Labor Day, which means I should get the day off. So we'll call it there. I really appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you, guys. I forgot about Labor Day. The beach is calling. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I highly recommend you check out One Piece, man. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. It's really good. It's really cool. Luffy is such a fun character. Like, here's the thing. I get the hype. Now, I get the hype. You know, everybody's been... some of you guys have literally been talking about One Piece in pretty much damn near every stream I do. I forgot last year, too. Jeez. Burned Too Hard by Cowboy Bebop. You know what's interesting about that? Not to get totally derailed, but I actually didn't mind the Cowboy Bebop anime. The live-action John. Now... It's obviously not what the anime was, and the anime is just all-time great. But I actually thought it was a pretty good live-action adaptation. And one of my boys is, like, the biggest weeb I know. He's the biggest anime head I've ever met. Reading mangas, like, way ahead of the curve on a lot of that stuff. He enjoyed it as well. So, I don't know. I feel like that show was close, but One Piece is, like, really nailing it, you know? And like I was saying, a lot of you guys like have been telling me about One Piece, how it's like the greatest live action, it's the best shonen, Luffy's such a great character, etc. for a long, long time. I feel like Danny DeVito in that one episode of Always Sunny, where it's like, I get it. Like, I get it now. Like, Luffy is awesome. And, you know, I love the way they do his powers, and I love the whole setup with the devil fruit and all that sort of stuff. But really, the heart of the show is like Luffy being this just heart of gold, adventurous, good person, and literally making everyone around him aspire to be better. And that is so, like, that feels so corny. Like, that's such like a, you know, predictable, whatever, stereotypical hero. But somehow, some way, like it feels super authentic. It feels really meaningful. The challenges that the character goes through to sort of adhere to his own beliefs is really interesting. And yeah, like I can't say enough good things about the live action One Piece, and it's making me, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm about to go watch 1,000+ episodes of anime now. Which, like, I don't know if that's how it's supposed to go. Like, I suppose the live action stuff should be like some kind of funnel, right? Like, I think that's in part what it's for. But like, I can't stop now. You know, like I can't stop now. Like, learning about this, like I want to know more about his grandfather. I want to know more about the Fishman. I want to know more about the Devil Fruit. I want to know more about the badass guy with the like massive sword who meets the armless dude. Like I want to know it all, man. I want to know it all, you know? So I'm quite excited about that, and I'm happy that the show's doing well, man. You know, we don't have like full data, we don't fully know, but it seems to be. Is that the guy Mahawk? What's the guy? Who's the guy with the massive sword that literally cut the ship in half? That shit was so cool, man. He's just like, whoa, and it like goes through the water and like cuts the ship in half. Mihawk, Dracula Mihawk. Damn, what a name! What a name, dude. That's cool, man. Yeah, that's a great character. So I'm in. I don't know when I'll start that whole thing, and it's gonna be like a long thing. But we'll figure it out. Elise and I will start. You know, maybe it'll be like our nightly thing. We watch a couple episodes or whatever. But yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. Super cool, man. Really happy for this show, and like I said, it seems to be doing really well. We don't have full numbers, and you know, there's strikes and blah 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 blah. But it seems to be doing well, you know, and I'm happy for everybody because apparently the manga creator Oda was heavily involved in a lot of the process, which really goes to show that that's where the juice is at, you know, and even comic books and comic book adaptations for a long time, I think some of the problems were like not having the same spirit and juice of like the stories and like having comic book people involved. And I think that was a change for that. And then if you look at the video game adaptation, you know, we talk about this all the time, but Mario, the success that it was because of, and I forget the dude's name, but the guy that created Mario, he's heavily involved in what's going down in the Mario movie. Neil Druckmann, heavily involved in The Last of Us, and like that's where the juice is at, man. Is it Miyamoto? Because I thought Miyamoto was the Zelda guy. Is it Miyamoto? I like legitimately thought Miyamoto was a different guy. Oh, he's both. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. Wow. You learn something every day, I guess, huh? Cool. Wow. Interesting. Okay, well, that's cool, man. And like I said, I highly, highly, highly recommend that. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Great family show, too. You know, so really, really good stuff. I also want to say at the start of the stream, shout out to Valiant Renegade. Shout out to all the guys from yesterday. We did a stream. We went over on Valiant's channel and talked a little bit more of like the business side of what's going on with Disney. And, you know, I've been watching his videos and some of his streams on the business stuff over the past couple of months. And I was really like into the fact that it feels like it's very much vetted information, and it seems like it's you know, good data and good analysis, you know what I mean? And you know, talk to Valiant a little bit about it, and like he comes from that space, like that's his area of expertise, so it's cool to get that kind of insight and to, you know, have conversations even with, you know, folks that you don't agree with everything on. And so if you stopped by the stream yesterday, thank you. Thought it was a good time. We'll try to do that again in the future. Sundays are kind of bad for me, to be honest, because I usually try to like prep my YouTube week or whatnot. But yeah, I'd like to do something else with those guys at some point, and I really appreciate them having me on, help me plug the book a little bit, and you know, just having some good conversation. So if you were there, appreciate you. If you weren't there, go check it out. It's still up on their channel. We had it was a long stream. I think it was close to 4 hours. And we had a lot of conversation about a lot of different topics. So yeah, if you like that kind of business side of things, go check that out. I thought it was a really good time. Nerd Theory tonight. We should be on for Nerd Theory tonight. It's going to be really interesting. I don't know what we'll talk about. I'm trying to walk this line of, like, not openly talking about the spoilers, right? I did a big video yesterday and put a lot of my thoughts into that, you know? But look, at the end of the day, here's what I'll say without, like, getting into specifics about the spoilers and whatnot, okay? I think it's important that we all sort of understand. Plug the Kickstarter in the description. I should definitely do it. We're going to talk about the Kickstarter in just a second because we got some dope stuff coming this week. This is going to be a very big week for Unity, and we need to really make a push on Unity because it's good. We're doing well, but we still have like 13K to get in like 2 weeks. So I have all sorts of plans. We'll talk about that in just a second. Damn it! What was I talking about before? I was talking about the Kickstarter. Son of a biscuit. Oh, the Star Wars stuff. Here's what I'll say. We should all know that, like, we don't know for sure, right? So, like, tomorrow night, Maroc could take off that mask and be Liam Neeson and be a clone of Qui-Gon. That's possible. Like, technically speaking, just because I heard some stuff, just because we think we know, doesn't mean we know. Until we see it, we don't know. Okay? But at the same time, you know, look, the Maroc thing went crazy. I don't think Dave probably designed the character to be this much of a, like, oh my God, who is he? You know, like that kind of a thing, right? But that happened, you know, like, let's be real. Maroc theories took over. Maroc was everywhere. Maroc was the thing. Did I play some small role in that? Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. I mean, I guess, yeah, perhaps a little bit. But point is, we don't know. Let's find out together, and let's just see how it hits us. Let's just, you know, let's take it for what it's worth. I do think, regardless of whether or not the theory I talked about or the thing that I heard is true, there's still potential for it to be really cool. Look, I think Ahsoka, I think tomorrow night's episode is going to be really cool, and I think episode 5 is going to be... Do you remember how Dave described it as a religious experience? I think episode 5 is the religious experience. I think that's exactly what he was talking about. And episode 5 is like... I don't want to... Like, it's just... It's going to be crazy. So that's going to be very cool. That's going to be a special thing for all of us to witness together. And so I'm really, really excited about that. It's going to be cool. Okay. Let's talk just a little bit about Unity, and then we'll get into the Marvel stuff. Okay. So, number 1. Let's pull it up. See where we're at. So we're just about to 37,361 backers, and that is awesome. I really appreciate the support. That is crazy. And also, what is going on over here? What? What the fuck? Okay. Okay, sorry, I had a stupid thing going on. Okay, so we are doing well, but we are not funded yet, and we have 2 weeks to go. So it's like crunch time, you know what I mean? So I know we still have a lot of promotion to do. I have some really, really cool ideas. So two things. Number 1, of course, try to back it by Wednesday. If you are going to back it, try to back it by Wednesday so you have a chance to win this Not a Doll action figure, which I will be hand painting, okay? But on top of that, one of the things we're going to do to try to get a little bit of an extra push is I am going to be adding some items to the Kickstarter, mostly merch and some bundles, okay? So I have all these merch ideas, which this, I guess, needs to be adjusted. You guys were talking to me about this in the Discord. The Unity needs to be a little bit higher, which we can do. We've got this shirt, which is just the Unity Silver logo. I think that shirt looks badass. This shirt, I absolutely love. I think it's super cool. And then we're going to add this shirt, which seems to be everybody's favorite. And that is the Unity Core badge with a little bit of blood on it. And so we're going to be adding some t-shirts to the Kickstarter as like additional items. I'm also going to be adding some bundles. So if you wanted to get extra copies of the softcover book, I'm going to do like 2 of them. I forget the exact numbers, but I think it's like 2 for 50 or 4 for 90. Just if you wanted to like get a couple extras, maybe for like gifts or to give to a comic book shop or something like that. We're going to add some bundles. We're going to be adding all of that stuff on Wednesday. I also have, point number 1, like, let me know, like, hit me up either on Discord or on this tweet. Like, which shirts do you think are cool? I think these are all cool designs, and I'll probably just throw them up there to see what people like. But it definitely seems like a lot of people really like this one, which is cool. I like this one. And I like this one a lot. And of course, you know, I like... All right, I'll be honest. I like them all. So we're going to add those in. I also have a couple of really dope ideas, which I'm not ready to talk about yet, but we'll probably talk about on Wednesday. Okay? So Wednesday is going to be like a cool, like, unity. Like, let's go. We got like 2 weeks left. Let's push this thing. Like, let's go. And I have a lot of other promotions. Can't talk too much about it because I need to like double check some things on the back end, but I'm going to announce some really cool stuff on Wednesday to try to give us a huge push into the last couple of weeks for the Unity Kickstarter. So I feel like we'll get it, man. I feel like we'll get this book funded and we will start this incredible IP, this new crazy thing that I've been working on for a long time that you guys have supported a lot. And, yeah, so just to give us like a little bit of an extra push, I'm going to be dropping some additional items. If you can, pick one up. If not, no big deal. Sharing it out definitely goes a long way as well. And yeah, that's all I can say for now. I've got some cool ideas, though. I definitely want to do something really special for everybody that supports the book. So we'll talk more about that on Wednesday. Okay. Let's talk some Marvel, shall we? Let us talk about some Marvel. Oh no, R.I.P. Smash Mouth. Did he actually pass? I saw what had happened. But yeah, that was a whole crazy situation. That's sad, man. Wow. Wow, yeah. That's tough. Was it so correct me if I'm wrong, it was the main guy, right? Right? The main dude. That is sad. What was it? Liver cancer? Liver or whatever? Something with the liver? Yeah. That's a tough one, man. Jam some of those songs later just to kind of keep the vibes going, you know? Jimmy Buffett obviously passed recently too, and I saw a bunch of people going out to like Margaritavilles and stuff and just trying to have a good time in his memory. And yeah, that's definitely a tough one, man. That is a tough one. May you rest in peace. Hope the family and everybody's okay, you know? All right. Here we go. Let's talk a little bit of Marvel. Okay, so this came out, like I said, this came out on Friday as an exclusive. So this is not officially announced, but a lot of it tracks and a lot of it lines up with things that we're talking about. Here's the thing. The actual article, like, I'm not trying to read all that. So there was a, God damn it, where's the comment? There was an incredible comment that had all of the delays on it. What happened to that comment? Oh, jeez. Okay, here, wait. Here we go. Loki starts. Echo move to. Okay, yes. I think this is. Yeah, this is the juice right here. Let me zoom in on this. Okay. And also, I want to grab it. God damn it. I can't figure out a good way to do this. Fuck it. Just go like this. Okay, so the main things are Echo has moved from November of this year to January 2024. Okay? Apparently, it's still all going to drop at once. And the move, I think, to be completely honest with you guys, I think the move is being done for a programming reason. Because do you remember what I said the actual plot of Secret Invasion was? Does anybody else remember? Does anybody remember what the actual plot of it is? The plot of Secret Invasion is you can't get rid of Disney Plus this month. That's what the plot was, okay? And to me, after Loki season 2, I felt like I was good. I was going to cancel Disney Plus and not bring it back until like something cool like the X-Men 97 or, you know, whatever, right? So this move is, I think, a programming move, which is kind of ironic because, like, I hate it because I won't be able to get rid of Disney Plus, because what if season 2 is now coming out Christmas Day? So wait, that might actually, when does Loki end then? Loki's probably what, 6 episodes, 8 episodes? In October? Yeah, it's pretty much right into December. It's pretty much right into December. So, you know, like a little bit of a bummer. I do wonder if What If Season 2 is going to be really awesome. You know, we talk about it all the time, but the, you know, the public discourse on Marvel has been pretty different recently. And like, for instance, I saw like Toast or somebody talking about, I'm going to move my head over here so we can see this better. I saw Toast or whatever talking about how one of the episodes is going to be What If Happy Saved Christmas? And I saw tweets with thousands of likes, which are like basically saying like, I love the coolness of Marvel, but what if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? I can't do this anymore. Like literally like that attitude, like, I'm fucking done, bro. Like, Happy saves, get the fuck out. Like, and I was like shocked, right? But I think there's going to be some really cool stuff in What If Season 2. I liked the first season, so I'm going to check it out. I wonder if they're going to put it all out at once. Loki is only 6 episodes. Oh, boy. So I wonder if they're going to put it all out at once. I would love that as a binge, like a Christmas Day binge or something like that. That would be great, dude. Like, I really would like that. But they'll probably space it out, which is so annoying. But point being, then you'll have Echo in January. And then X-Men 97, which we're going to talk about. Let's talk about X-Men 97. But X-Men 97 moved from fall of this year into 2024. Now, this was something people have been talking about for a long time. There are whispers, guys. There are whispers, and I don't want to alarm anybody, but there are whispers that there were issues behind the scenes with the show. Don't know too much about it other than that. And I think, like, X-Men 97 is a really interesting... it's going to be a really interesting show because it's the first time that they're, like, actually doing the X-Men. They've brought a lot of the voice actors back. You know, a lot of the people that are involved in this show are huge fans of the 90s X-Men show. And so they're trying very hard to evoke those ideas and to, you know, have it be a proper successor to the old X-Men show. I think some of the problems they might run into is that, number one, just the animation. Right? And I really wonder what you guys think of this, because the animation is going to be a lot more like What If and like 3D with like the sort of the shine and the sort of cell shading kind of thing, and not your traditional 2D animation. So I'm curious, like, what do you guys think about that? Like, are you going to be down? Are you not? What do you think? Hollywood hates animation these days. Well, I don't know if I could agree with that. I mean, I think there's a lot of high-profile animation that's being done in Hollywood. You know? Yeah, I am kind of curious as to how this is going to land with fans. Because, like, on the one hand, the animation of the 90s show is not really, like, you go back and watch it, it's really not that great. But the style was great. You know what I mean? So, like, and it could just be nostalgia. Like, I'd love to be able to know, like, what does a person that didn't watch it in the 90s think when they watch that show? Because, again, the animation's not, it's not even, like, good, to be honest with you. Like, there were parts of that show that were really wacky, you know? But the vibe was right and the style was right. So I'm a little bit worried. X-Men, like, I think Marvel, and especially, like, somebody like Feige, should definitely understand that X-Men 97 is a super big deal. Like, you can't evoke those spirits. You can't evoke... I mean, it's literally a direct sequel to what was a gateway drug and an on-ramp for so many fans to Marvel Comics and X-Men and all that, right? Like, I guess my biggest concern, and wow, would I be upset if this was the case? My biggest concern is that they just didn't give it the time and the energy that it needs. I'm not saying it's Kenobi level, but it's close. And my biggest problem with Kenobi is they didn't give it the proper time, budget. Like it's just, that's not, take $100 million of the budget away from Andor and give it to Kenobi. That is what should be done. That's how that shit should go, right? So, yeah, it's weird. I think X-Men 97 could be a huge test for them. If it is good, that will go a long way to, I think, sort of quelling some of the concerns of fans, you know, when it comes to how Marvel's going to be handling things like the X-Men and everything like that moving forward. So definitely curious as to what you guys think about X-Men 97. And it seems like we'll find out pretty early next year, which is cool. And also scary. Okay, Agatha, Coven of Darkhold Diaries. This has moved from winter 23 to fall of 24. So, chat, what do you, like, before I give my thoughts, like, what do you guys think about this? Because not only is Agatha moved again, which technically, if you've really, really been paying attention, Agatha was taken off the slate a long time ago. Agatha didn't have a home. There was even some people thinking Agatha wouldn't come out till 2025 when we were talking about this first delay, right? So technically speaking, they just dated Agatha, but they had dated it previously, so it is technically delayed. Okay? So yeah, what do you guys think of this Agatha show? Cancel Agatha, don't care about Agatha, yeah. This all, yeah. Pass. I'd rather watch a Quicksilver movie, yeah, see? Agatha, will anyone watch this? Yeah. Did you see the theory that Agatha title changes are a marketing ploy on purpose? Oh yeah, I've seen that, yeah. Can they just cancel it, please? Yeah, no, they're not going to cancel it. They're not going to cancel it. Okay, so let's do the whole, like, let's steel man it. Let's talk about the possible good and the possible bad. First of all, addressing that idea that they are changing this and it's due to Agatha. According to some of the people I talked to and according to some of the scoopers out there, that is bullshit of the highest degree. Now, I'm not saying it's not a smart marketing move. That seems cool, and maybe they can do that. They can actually attribute it to the show, to the witchcraft, to all that kind of goobly glob, okay? So here's the thing about Agatha. Agatha only matters insofar as she is connected to the Scarlet Witch, the Darkhold, and Mephisto. Okay. So currently right now, behind the scenes at Marvel, I think they're trying to figure out what to do with the Scarlet Witch, the Darkhold, and Mephisto. Now, some of the rumors we've heard about Mephisto are crazy interesting. Like, for instance, it is rumored that Mephisto will be played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and that Mephisto will also be the person that bought Avengers Tower. And although it's not, none of this is confirmed or even rumored, I think it would make a lot of sense if they started establishing Mephisto before getting to Agatha, to create a bigger draw for that show. Okay? So in a show like, let's say, Daredevil Born Again, or in a movie like Captain America, Brave New World, maybe potentially even Thunderbolts. But through those shows, I think it's possible you establish Mephisto, Avengers Tower, and all that. And then maybe Agatha gets a little bit more of a draw. If there's more of an... Like real talk, guys, that's like the best case scenario. The actual like real talk here is like, I think this show is going to be a disaster. Okay. Like Grace said something on her stream. I think it was like a Friday or a Thursday that like they're doing the Wiccan character, which is a big character in Marvel Comics. They're doing Wiccan by having him possess the body of an LGBT kid. Okay. So like, here's the thing. Nobody likes that. Like, and this is one of the points I was trying to make yesterday on Valiant's channel. I was like, bro, we need to like stop yelling at each other and like look at the real problem. Because even if you're a fan of representation, if you love that character from the comics, what the fuck is this? Like, this is ridiculous. So it's like not even good for people that want that kind of stuff. And I think the other people that you know hate it, clown on it, think it's cringe, they don't like it either. They're not doing this well. You know? And I think that Agatha, in a lot of ways, is a prime example of goobly glob bullshit Marvel content. And I would love to be wrong about that. I would love to be wrong about that. And maybe I am wrong about that. I think it's possible they could shape it up, make it a little bit better. But at the end of the day, like, I just don't see it. And I'm super concerned that the more they do this, like, it's just, I don't know how much people are going to hang around. You know what I mean? If they keep doing stuff like this, I have gone from being moderately interested in Agatha to being like, bro, what is this movie? Or this show, rather? This seems goddamn ridiculous. Especially because we don't even think they know what to do with Wanda. Children's Crusade and Young Avengers doesn't matter without the actual Avengers. Like, you can't do Children's Crusade without Magneto and Doctor Doom and all the cool stuff that's in that story. So, like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here, dude? Like, this show should probably be canceled. Like, real talk, this show should probably be canceled. But it appears they're going to move it to fall. I've heard they're going to try to run it up to Halloween, you know, and give it some spooky whatever. And then maybe that'll be a marketable thing via Disney Plus. But yeah, so that's what's going on with Agatha. Okay. Ironheart. Let's talk about Ironheart. This one's kind of interesting. Ironheart is shot but unfinished due to the strikes, likely reshoots in ADR. No new release date given, okay? So, this one we have a little bit of info on. One of the scoopers was talking about how they're doing this because they're going to essentially massively change this, okay? And they're going to make this show tie into Armor Wars. Now, the logic here and what they're saying is that after the strikes are over, Marvel wants to go full steam ahead on Armor Wars. And the thing that's weird about that is, like, Armor Wars, there's a lot of buzz that they're going to try to do some Tony Stark stuff, okay? But here's what's, like, kind of stupid about that, right? And this is, like, again, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but it's like Marvel is in a really weird spot. And I think it's worth explaining how they're approaching this and the potential pitfalls that they have in front of them, right? So here's the problem with Armor Wars. This is supposed to be now the actual Rhodey that was from Civil War. Okay? So in a sense, like, this big movie that was originally going to be a show that dealt with Rhodey was going to be this really cool thing. It's an Avenger. He's one of the only Avengers left. You know, he has all these connections to Tony, etc., etc. So we're really supposed to care about this movie. But now, due to Secret Invasion, it's not even the dude we thought we knew. Like, it's not even that guy. So how can you bring all that sort of fan Avengers love like stuff and put it in a movie? This movie has to explain, dude. This movie's like gonna have to be a character study about a character that we barely know. We barely know. And I don't know how you do that, tying that to Ironheart and tying it all to Tony. Like, I just don't see it. I feel like it's too goobly glob. You know what I mean? But that's their plan. Their plan is, well, as soon as the strikes are over, we're going to go full steam ahead for Armor Wars. And we're going to connect Armor Wars to Ironheart. And we're going to rework Ironheart to deal with Armor Wars. And there's some interesting things in there. Like, for instance, the rumor right now is that the Hood, who's a dope character in Marvel Comics, the Hood is supposedly stealing Stark tech for Mephisto, so that Mephisto can build some kind of suit. Who knows why? That seems crazy. I don't know what they're playing at, but that's kind of cool. So there's a way that, like, here's what I really think, which I guess what I'm trying to say here is they need to go hard on Mephisto right away. Like, we need Mephisto to start popping up and being significant right away because he feels like the glue that could pull a lot of this stuff together on the Earthbound side of Marvel. So maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll do that and, make that work. But, yeah, I have no idea. So here's the next one. And by the way, we'll go into questions. We'll see what you guys think about all this sort of stuff. Here's one that's kind of interesting. Daredevil was supposed to come out in the spring of next year. But it's delayed indefinitely. What do you guys think about that? MCU makes me sad. I know. But it used to make us so happy. Yeah, so this one's kind of weird, right? So, a couple of different things. The thing that's so strange about Daredevil is I think, number one, it was going to be a massive draw for a lot of fans. I think, number two, it was going to be a different approach to the Marvel show than what they had done in the past. So far, like, a lot of the Marvel stuff is like a TV, or rather like a movie that's just spread out. Daredevil was designed to be episodic, villain of the week kind of ideas, little mini arcs, and I think it was going to come out like 8 episodes and then 8 episodes. So it was going to come out in blocks. And that's weird because, like, they have a lot shot, but basically this is Marvel saying there is no way, given everything else we have to do, there is no way that we would be able to get this thing ready for a release early next year or even late next year. So the thing is, Daredevil was supposed to shoot literally all year this year. It was going to be shooting all year long because it's literally 16 episodes that were all probably going to be 40 minutes plus. We don't know for sure, but that was kind of the plan. So this thing was supposed to be shooting all year. So essentially, whenever this thing gets back to it, they have to shoot for a whole year. Okay? Now, when it comes to Daredevil, I have some things that I feel like are positive. I have some things that I'm a little bit worried about. So with all of this sort of stuff, and I have a big video coming out that's going to explain even more of like what's going on behind the scenes and a strategy that could perhaps change things around for Marvel. They should take this as an opportunity to really investigate some of these ideas and like just get to the good shit. I think the resounding feeling in the fandom is we don't want the filler content anymore. We don't want content that doesn't feel like it matters. We want the really good stuff. We want to know what's actually going on in the story. We want to be pushing towards Secret Wars. So that is what I feel like they should do. And they technically have an opportunity to do just that. This pause could ultimately end up being really good if they do that. When it comes to Daredevil, I don't know, bro. I hope they make some changes. You know what I mean? I hope they make some changes. Some of the stuff I've heard about Daredevil, I'm like, oh boy, like that's not going to go over well. So maybe they change this show quite a bit. Maybe not. I think this one's really dependent on the strikes. You know what I mean? It's really dependent on the strikes. So we'll see what happens. Wonder Man also stopped shooting due to the strikes. Its debut is unknown as a result. So Wonder Man essentially is, we have no idea when Wonder Man is coming out. And I mean, bro, what is this show? Like, what are we doing here, dude? Wonder Man? Wonder Man. So another spin-off to WandaVision or whatever. This is crazy. Like, that, I don't know. Like, I just think the move that I would respect, the move that would, like, actually get me to be excited and, like, you know, throw my hands up is to cancel this show. And I don't know, because like it's a Disney thing and it's a Marvel thing. They don't want to hold an L ever. They are so resistant to holding the L. They're so resistant to admitting that they've done some things wrong. I don't know what it would take exactly, but like, is this not the perfect opportunity for them to force majeure out of some of these contracts? Because sure, they signed, you know, they've got contracts, but this 100+ 4-month+ long strike, is that not like, can't you force majeure out of some of this shit? Like, that would be fantastic, dude. Force majeure out of this and just cancel this shit, bro. You know? So I don't know, man. We'll see how all of that goes. But at the end of the day, some of this I think is positive, but a lot of it's just like whatever. You know? And it's kind of a weird one because, like, Loki, I think is going to be dope. Echo, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to watch Echo. I got to be honest. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to watch Echo. I am legitimately more excited for What If Season 2 and X-Men 97 than I am for, like, any of these things. Like, if I really had to say it, I'd be like, yes, I'm going to watch Loki. I'm going to watch What If. I'm going to watch X-Men 97. I'm going to watch Daredevil. But, like, cancel Wonder Man, cancel Ironheart, cancel Agatha, cancel Echo, and that would be great. Like, that would be great. And this is like this is the freaking desert that Marvel now has to walk through. And I'm super concerned as a fan. Like, frankly, I'm super concerned. And, you know, we'll just see how it all goes. You know, we'll just see how it all goes. There's a couple other things I want to talk about, but I would love to know, you guys have any thoughts? What do you think, chat? What do you? So cancel the whole slate? No, don't cancel the whole slate. Cancel most of it. Yeah. Just most of it. Indigenous perspective in Echo is the only thing I'm looking for in the series, but yeah, and I think that will be a draw to some people, you know, but I just don't think it's going to be enough of a draw to warrant a 4-quadrant, you know, budget, a 4-quadrant strategy. Like, it's fine, and maybe by putting it all out as a binge, like, they're trying to basically mitigate the social media damage, the damage to the brand, while also, like, allowing it to have its shine and do its thing. But the thing is, man, like, let's say it's Butthole. We don't know. But let's say it's Butthole. Bro, that ain't good representation. So even if you like that, even if you want that perspective, do it right. Like, do a good show. Like, make a dope show, bro. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's I have zero interest in Echo. Like I said, I will probably barely watch. If anything, I'll fast forward to the Daredevil stuff. I'll watch the Kingpin stuff. And that's about it. So Ryan Gosling for Wonder Man. Nice Guy's vibe would be amazing. Yeah, so Goss is not going to be Wonder Man. It's actually the guy that plays Black Manta. I always forget his name. He's got an interesting name. But yeah, so he's going to be Wonder Man. And like, that's fine. Like, I don't care about that. I'm like, why are we doing a Wonder Man show? Like, what's the deal with the Wonder Man show? You know? It's like, when's the next time we're going to see Shang-Chi, dude? Like, do we not? Like, Shang-Chi was cool. That's like the best Phase 4 movie. When am I going to see that guy again? I don't care about Wonder Man, dude. Like, what? Why isn't he T'Challa? Yeah, it's a good question. Well, you know what's interesting? What if Marvel was like, dude, we're going to cancel this show, but we're going to make you a variant of T'Challa in the multiverse? That would be sick, dude. He's like 838 T'Challa or something. That would be amazing. White man talking about representation. I think a lot of people talk about representation, regardless of race. I think that's a really weird thing to say. Do you have a full face scan for your Reddit avatar? It looks like you. Yeah, it does look like me. No, I didn't get the full face scan. Luckily, though, they had one that would look like me. So, will Disney Plus keep the Tuesday release? Hard to say. I think Loki's first couple episodes are going to air either on a Thursday or a Friday. But we'll see. I'm not really sure. I think a weekend release is actually a little bit better. But, yeah. They could do White Tiger, too. I mean, dude, I'm not against these new... I think here's one of the issues, though. Bro, we don't even know who the Avengers are. And we have had zero actual interaction minus the post-credit scene in Shang-Chi. Minus that, which is weird. I don't fully understand it in the timeline. We have had no actual contact between these characters. So, like, there was a big part of Phase 3 that had all the characters in it, like Winter Soldier into Civil War. You know, the movies felt like we were following a story with the same cast of characters, and I think that's a really important part of the juice. As it stands right now, there's no connection. Like, what are you going to do? Literally take Moon Knight, throw him into the Avengers? You're going to throw She-Hulk into the Avengers? You're going to have dogs? Like, these people don't even fucking know each other. Like, how are you going to do that? So I think that's a massive mistake. So adding a character like Wonder Man, no. Like, do something with the characters that we already have. Like, who are the Avengers? What are they doing? What's that about? And I'm not saying you can't develop other things, because one of the cool parts of Infinity War was bringing in all of the sides of Marvel. You got the magical side meeting the Avengers. You've got the, Thanos and his homies, but you also have the Guardians. You know what I mean? So you've got, like, the galactic stuff coming in as well. Thor as well. Like, dude, it was really cool how they all pulled together. But at the end of the day, the big reason it works is because they were all there, or at least the main cast was there for Avengers, Age of Ultron, Civil War, a lot of Winter Soldier. Like, dude, like, we followed those characters in that story. So it meant something when they all got back together, you know? So we're so far away from that right now with Marvel. And I do think they're going to remedy it. Again, I have a big video coming out about that probably honestly tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be, like, I also want to try to work on the Warhammer video, so I'll probably drop that Marvel video tomorrow. But I think they are working to remedy this. The biggest issue they face is the goobly glob that's just gonna be there. You know what I mean? Like, all this content that does not really matter is gonna, I think, damage things, you know? So that's why, like, I legitimately think cancel it. Like, cancel that shit. Okay, let's get into some other news here, guys. Despite being spotted on set, Ben Affleck will not be reprising his role as Daredevil in Deadpool 3. Wah, wah, wah. This is kind of a bummer. I'm going to be honest. This is kind of a bummer, but probably best to know now. And yeah, he was on set. I think he will be coming back for Secret Wars. But it seems like he's probably not in Deadpool 3. Now, what does this mean for the Illuminati stuff and all that? You know, without getting into too many spoilers, I do still think Jennifer Garner as Elektra is probably there, and she's probably in the Illuminati. Very cool. But unfortunately, no Daredevil, which is kind of a bummer. So, you know, that is what it is. And I think, too, depending on how much time passes between now and... you know, when this strike is going to end. Like, by the way, chat, when is the strike going to end? Does anybody know? When is this, is it ever going to end? Is it never going to end? Oh my gosh, bro. Holy shit. Oh my god, bro. Holy shit. When the AI takes over? Yeah, maybe. Depending on how long the strike goes for, I think Deadpool 3 might see a lot of changes as well. It's just difficult, man. Like, it's really difficult. They shot a lot of stuff, but there's still stuff they wanted to shoot, and they wanted to clean it up and reshoot stuff. So, I mean, we'll see, dude. Like, Deadpool 3, unfortunately, just gets further and further away, which is a bummer. Okay, next thing that's kind of interesting here. Toast was teasing this out, and I think it's kind of cool because I think this is going to end up being the dealio as to why we're getting the Red Hulk stuff. And in fact, I think if we just go to the tweet here. So you look at this, and I said Red Hulk juice would probably fix that. And Toast said Red Hulk juice. And so look, we don't know for sure what this means, but here's what I think is going on. General Thunderbolt Ross, we've already seen in the Black Widow movie, had a heart condition. He was looking pretty frail. He also had a heart attack that he talks about in Civil War. Okay, so what I think is going on here is he's going to take the super soldier serum to try to fix his heart. That's going to be a big part of it, and I think that is going to end up being what gives him the Red Hulk powers, which I also have heard, we talked about this, they're not going to hide the Red Hulk shit. They're going to put that right in front of our face in the marketing, which is going to be great. So maybe we'll actually have Red Hulk like in the suit, like in a suit with like the American flag, like actually being the president. That would be absolutely incredible, man. That would be great. Let's see here. What else? Yeah, so I've seen this stuff, right, with them talking about source with knowledge says the titles are changing. Less of an indecision, but more on the part of Agatha. I believe Toast said this was bullshit, to be honest. So, like, yeah, I don't really think so. This is what we were talking about before. Ironheart is going to tie into Armor Wars more. But again, I just feel like that's a big old question mark there. Because of what they did with Rhodey. It's so weird. Like, real talk, the MCU would have been so much like, okay, let me ask you guys this. Because I feel this way, but I want to know what you think. Yes or no, chat, would Marvel be better off if Secret Invasion had not come out? Yes or no? Would Marvel be better off if Secret Invasion never came out? Okay. So, like, take that same energy. That's exactly why I'm saying they need to cancel a lot of this shit. Because, like, these shows are doing more damage. Like, dude, it muddles everything up. Oh, my God. Not only does it add to the fatigue, but it makes things weirder. What do you mean Nick Fury came down, fucked everything up, and left Earth in a worse spot than it was before, and then just fucking peaced? What? So I'm supposed to watch this dude in the movie in November in the Marvels and act like he didn't just fuck the world over, make out with a lizard, and then peace? I'm supposed to go watch Armor Wars, not being angry that the best character shit you ever gave for Rhodey wasn't even Rhodey. He literally had the best parts of his character on screen when he was a Skrull. Like, they need to stop. Like, no. And that's why I think they need to cancel some of these shows. And oh my God, would I apply? I will come out and be so supportive. I'll make so many videos being like, oh my God, he did it. If they just cancel this shit. I don't know what it would take. Do you think if we made a petition, it would have any effect whatsoever? Because I'm at a point where I'm like, yo, we need to make a petition. Petition to cancel this shit. But would it do anything? Because, like, dude, they're not going to... Like, they're literally not going to cancel it. Like, you know what I mean? They're just not. Especially because the strikes, like, dude, they don't even have content. Like, they're not going to cancel that shit. Do I think Feige has lost his way? I think the MCU has lost its way. I think Feige needs to own that. I don't know that I would say he has lost his way. I think they fucked up. I think everybody at Marvel Studios has to realize they really fucked up. And again, though, this is what's crazy is the solution is very simple. Cancel this goobly glob. Like, get in the huddle. Call up some fucking big plays. Bro, call up a flea flicker. Like, that's kind of what Deadpool 3 is. Like, we need some panache. Like, some fucking, some energy behind it. You know what I mean? So, like, they need radical change. Radical change. And I think the canceling would be a great, you know, step in that direction. I just don't see Disney allowing them to do that. Because Bob Iger, like, will literally go out and talk shit about Ant-Man 3 and then greenlight Toy Story 5. It's like total nonsense. Right? So, like, I just see this guy in dollars and cents. I mean, this is the guy that was like, oh, Michael Arndt, you want to take years and develop the new sequel trilogy, like, thoroughly thought out with all these rules and considerations. Well, guess what? I want it next year. So fuck you, Michael Arndt. Like, that's that guy. That's that guy. That's that company. That's that corporation. That's what they do. I don't see a scenario in which they're like, you know what? We should probably get rid of a lot of this stuff. You know? So, man, it's tough. Like, the next 6 months are going to be very interesting for Marvel Studios. Very interesting for Marvel Studios. Okay. One last thing I want to talk about before we get into the Q&A. I need your help, chat. I need your help with something. I need you to find me the tweets, or rather the Facebook posts that explain this. We need to talk about this. And before you get too angry, this might not go the way you think. This might not go the way you think. Somebody link me or send me on Discord to what he was saying about these Batmans. Somebody help. I know, right? How dare I quote The Last Jedi? Yeah. Yeah, he literally deleted his personal Facebook account. They're not fake. They are not fake, dude. Like, I love that. Like, people are like, that's fake. So you're telling me somebody made a fake James Gunn account 11 fucking years ago? Like, come on, dude. The post from 13 years ago, who cares? Well, I would argue a few people. I would argue a couple of folks. First of all, like I said, this might not go the way that you think. You guys all think I'm about to shit on Gunn. Just hand me the fucking, just show me what he said. Didn't I set it up properly? This might not go the way you think. Because here's what's crazy. I actually agree with him. You freaking buttholes. Where is it? Where's all the... Okay, you know what? It's actually right here. He has the receipts. You thought we weren't going to be able to find it? Okay, so here's from the actual James Gunn, 100% real, his account from 11 plus years ago when, just like today, he was a butthole. So let's read some of this stuff. He says, the Tim Burton Batman is poorly written. The soundtrack is the worst work of everyone involved, and it is absolutely one of the most boring films ever. Not only that, but the reveal of the Joker as the killer of Bruce Wayne's parents spits in the face of Batman's origin, and is nullification, fancy word for a fake James Gunn, of the bottomless thirst for vengeance that necessarily drives Batman. It pretends not to be campy, but is completely so. And on top of everything, the dark creature of the night can't even move his fucking neck. Give me a fucking break. It's ridiculous. Awful film. Burton's Planet of the Apes is genius by comparison. New Loki trailer? Is that true? What's in the new Loki trailer? Is it dope, or can we do our thing here for a little bit? Like, can we do this for a little bit, or like do we have to switch right away? Like, how good's the Loki trailer? Real talk. How good is it? Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. He's right. So I want to take you back. I want to take you back to the 90s. No, but I want to take you back to when the Batman came out. And all of you guys got freaking boners because the hot rod Batmobile flew through the flames all cool. Okay? So back then, there were a lot of discussions. By the way, Adam, are you still in the chat? Because Adam and I actually beefed super hard on a live stream about this. Yeah, Adam and I beefed super hard on a live stream about this, okay? One of my worst takes, Josh. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, so I said at the time, the Batman was okay. Damn sure not the best version of Batman. And what I did after that, which was actually like really fun, and I gave the movie a lot of credit for this, I went back and watched all the Batman. We watched them all. I remember Elise and I sat there and we watched all these Batman. We watched the Nolan stuff. We watched the Burton stuff. We watched everything. We watched Batman and Robin. We went on a Batman binge, dude. And I rewatched them all. And this is something I brought up on Twitter a couple of days ago. Maybe it was last week. We have never had a proper live action Batman. Never. Not one. Never. Different versions get different aspects of Bruce and Batman correct. But there's literally none of them that have the full package. None of them. Like, I personally prefer the Nolan stuff. Okay, and I think it gets to the heart of the character in some really interesting ways. But the Nolan movies, like, the way he fights in the Nolan movies is, like, silly. Okay? You get some detective-y stuff in the third one, but the detective element is completely downplayed in that version. Okay? So, I don't even think Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, which is my favorite, that is not even close to Batman. Okay, if you read Batman, if you've watched some of the animated stuff, which I think really nails the Batman character, you gotta admit, like, bro, that ain't it. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's keep reading with what James Gunn said here. Keaton did have a ridiculous voice. That said, I'd rather put up with a ridiculous voice than a horrible action sequence and acting barely worth of the Batman TV show. B, I have no idea how you can think the Burton Batman has more similarities with Moore or Miller's Batman and Joker than Nolan's does. And listen, I have problems with both Nolan films. I don't think either one is classic, and I don't even think Batman Begins is good. That's out of pocket because it's a great movie, but it's not a great... It's a good Batman movie. It's maybe even the best Batman movie or one of the best. But, like, I understand where he's coming from. But they're far superior to the first Batman. None of your defenses get by the fact that despite being the first cinematic dark take on Batman, so what? Stallone's Judge Dredd was the first dark take on Judge Dredd. The movie is awful. I love that Judge Dredd movie. How dare you? Oh, yeah. And Jack Nicholson as the Joker is Jack Nicholson in The Shining with shitty clown makeup. Fuck you, everyone involved in that travesty. Bro, low-key based. I'm going to be honest with you. Low-key based. Jesus. Wonder Woman gallery that clashed my say. Jesus Christ. Okay, so yes, James Gunn is a weirdo. That's not the shit I was looking for. I'm looking for the Batman stuff, okay? Now, here's what I'll say about this. James Gunn has nobody to blame but himself for this happening, okay? He is such an asshole online, and I've heard in person, although I can't confirm that he evokes the type of energy where people want to go back and find all the shit that he did wrong. Like, even his other past transgressions, I don't think would have been uncovered had he not been such a dick to people online. I'm not saying it's necessarily right. I don't love the idea of, like, 10-year-old tweets, like, coming back up and canceling a person. I think it's pretty crazy. It's pretty cringe. I think cancel culture, for the most part, is pretty cringe. But here's the point. Like, this guy took the job to be the president of DC. If he didn't think shit like this was going to happen, especially with the way he acted online to the fans, he's crazy. He has nobody to blame but himself. And yet, I've actually never been more looking forward to what Gunn might do with the DCU. Because he's right. As a big, sweaty comic book fan, he's right. We have never had a proper Batman. Never. I don't even know if we've had a proper Superman. Maybe Christopher Reeves is the closest. And I love Henry Cavill, but he's really a different take on the character. So I'm really interested to see, what does he do with this? Do I think he can pull it off? I think he can pull it off, but I think he's done a lot of damage by the way he's handled himself during this transitional time. Like, that's the take. He's a good filmmaker. He's definitely a huge nerd and a good ambassador for comics. But, like, he's got so many people rooting against him. And the way he handled the Snyder transition, the way he's handled all this stuff, I really don't think he's doing himself any favors, man. You know? So we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. We've got one last bomb left for the DCU. I mean, dude, literally, ever since this dude literally said, I'm rebooting this motherfucker, like, every single movie since he said that has bombed. Has bombed. And I remember at the time, by the way, dude, I remember some people, some real stinky buttholes on Twitter, and some of you in chat were literally saying stuff to me like, what do you mean there's no reason to see these movies? Wouldn't you just go see a good movie to see a good movie? And I remember that fucking energy. Everybody was like, ugh, like, you know, how could you even say that? Because I was like, well, just you might as well cancel all this other stuff. And people were like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, dude, what do I mean? Look at what happened. Like, dude, like, what do you mean? What do I mean? Like, look at what happened, dude. By the way, The Flash is such a disaster. It's not even doing well digitally. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even doing well digitally, dude. You know, and Blue Beetle, maybe it'll do well on digitally. It's not going to end up cracking 100 million domestic. You know, Shazam was what Shazam was. I mean, what do you guys think about Aquaman 2? Like, if Aquaman 2 really wanted to make money, they'd turn it into a Deadpool-style fourth wall breaking movie where Aquaman deals with the fact that he's going to be rebooted into Lobo. Which, to be honest with you, probably wouldn't take all that much. Other than that, yeah, not looking very good. Not looking very good for that. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Like, the other part that's kind of interesting is, like, you know, you finish this year off, whether they cancel Aquaman or not. I think they're just going to send it out to die, which is crazy. But I mean, that's what they've been doing essentially. So I think they're going to send it out to die. And I think next year you've just got Joker 2. And even that might be, you know what I mean? Like, could be delayed and everything. What does a year away from DC do to that fandom? Is it a palate cleanser? Is it the ability for them to rebuild the hype? You know? I don't really know. It's going to be incredibly interesting to see how that all goes down. I honestly think there is a possibility that James Gunn never makes any of these movies. Especially if these strikes continue. And if NBC Universal buys Warner Brothers. I think there's a chance he never makes a single one of these films. Which, even though I think he's a stupid butthole, that would suck. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we at least need to see, and I'm not talking about stupid commando creatures. I'm not talking about Blue Beetle, a movie that existed before your ideas existed that somehow you wanted to bring into your universe. I'm not talking about all of that. I feel like we deserve to see the actual clean slate start, the beginning of what this universe is. So, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. What else is going on? Is there anything else I missed? Should we look at this Loki trailer? Should I look it up? What is it, like? Little spot? 43 seconds? Okay. Check it out. Let's check it out. Let's give it a little look-see here. Check it out in this format here. All right. See what they got to say.
What I'm about to tell you is going to be hard to believe again. I've been pulled through time between the past and the present and the future.
Everything is turning to
That's right.
Don't overthink it.
Round, around, and around we go. All right. Again.
Not a bad little spot. You know what's interesting there, too? A lot more Jonathan Major. It feels like they're maybe getting a little bit more comfortable putting him out there. The public perception, I think, has definitely shifted in Jonathan's favor, just due to some of the other things that have been going on lately. I think I kind of know what's going on here with everything. It is interesting nonetheless. And look, the one thing that I'll say about Loki is like it has a very distinct style and it has a really fun vibe. And I'm excited to get back into it. I hope this show is as good as the first season. I don't know if it will be. You know what I mean? Frankly. But I still think it has a big chance to be much better than a lot of the other Marvel Disney Plus stuff. Loki is still to this day, I think, the biggest Disney Plus show they've ever had. It's bigger than Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? So it was big, bro. Like, it was a very big show. And it was one of the things we talked about yesterday that's so wild is they had less subscribers then. They literally had less subscribers, and it was a bigger show than Kenobi. That's wild. You know what I mean? But, I'm excited. I'm excited to check it out. I want to know more about the multiverse. I still have a few questions about the show. Like, I will say there was one shot in here that really interested me. This. He's explaining, like, going to fix the time loom or something. Like, I don't know what this is. And you've got, that looks like Kang. Or Victor Timely. So, like, what is this shot? That is really interesting. Victor Timely in the background. Really interesting, man. What is that? What's that button? I don't know what that button is. It's very crazy. Yeah, it should be cool, man. I'm excited for it. I'm still excited for Loki. I think this is going to be pretty fun. Cool little trailer. It's a cool little trailer. It's all right. It's all right, lads. It's all right, lads and lasses. What else is going on, guys? Should we just do some Q&A and get on out of here? It's not bigger than The Mandalorian? It is. It is bigger than The Mandalorian. I think Victor Timely is Quantumania Kang because Quantumania Kang getting beat is like Victor Timely getting embarrassed by the Avengers in the comics. Yeah. Perhaps. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be him or not, but do you still not like the new Star Wars game? Which one are you talking about, James? What do you mean? You talking about Survivor? Yeah, I don't really like it that much, to be honest with you. High Evolutionary as a Kang variant, that would be cool. I don't think that's going to happen. How do you feel about your show? How do I feel your show went last night? Well, it wasn't my show. It was their show, and I think that's an important distinction. How do I think it went? I thought it went great. I thought there's a lot of good conversation. You know, I think Valiant does a good job of kind of keeping it moving. There were a couple of times where, like, I would have probably blabbered for, like, 20 plus minutes on a particular point, and I actually felt pretty comfortable with him kind of guiding it in a different direction. And that's the thing, it's his show. I'm a guest on that show, you know what I mean? Yo, Josh, nerd theory tonight? Yes, we should have a nerd theory tonight. No aliens in Starfield. Weak. Is there really no aliens in it? Look, I just gotta say, I think that game looks super boring. I am really still into Baldur's Gate 3, and I think the next game I will get will be what the fuck? Armor Core 6. Armor Core 6. Maroc revealed tomorrow. I think is a high possibility, yeah. There's tons of aliens in it? What? If it involves women, Josh is not excited. Weird take, Nick. Very weird take. I actually really like Whammons. I do. Armor Core 6 has been killing me. In what sense? I can say we never needed... Wait, what? Can I say we never needed was aliens in Star Wars, brother? Revise that sentence. Did you watch the Godzilla trailer? It looked cool. Here's my question about that Godzilla movie. So is this connected at all to like the Godzilla vs. Kong and like that whole thing they were building? Because I like those movies, dude. I like those movies. No? That's a shame. It looks cool, but like what is this movie doing that those other movies didn't do? You know, and I don't love the I don't love the Gareth Edwards Godzilla. Actually, real talk, I actually walked out of that movie in the theaters. That shit was crazy. But I really like Godzilla vs. Kong, and I liked Kong Skull Island. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, let's just get into Q&A. Let's get into Q&A. And then we'll call it from there, okay? Okay, so Genko, welcome back to the Nerdvengers, baby. You are a Nerdventure now. Jesse Price says, hey, Josh, I'm about halfway through Heir to the Empire right now. What other books do you think are good to read/listen to? If you're talking about Star Wars books, there's a ton of them, man. Lords of the Sith is one of my favorites, which is technically canon. James Luceno's old stuff is really, really good. I like Lost Stars, which is canon. The Plagueis novel, which I believe is James Luceno. I'm not 100% on that. The Plagueis novel is maybe one of the best Star Wars books ever written. It is absolutely fantastic. So that's a really good one. If you're talking about outside of Star Wars, I'm going to go ahead and recommend some Warhammer. Good books in the Warhammer canon. Pretty cool stuff. Caleb Senpai says, weekly reminder to watch One Piece. See, every week he is telling me, and you guys have been telling me, and I gotta say, I'm gonna do it. I'm jumping in to the 1,000+ episode pool that is One Piece, and frankly, I'm pretty excited to do so. It's gonna be cool. C-Dub says, loved hearing you on Valiant Renegade last night. A solid few hours of breaking down why Disney Plus is appropriately named D+. Yes, indeed. And I like the insight. I mean, obviously we don't agree on everything, but there were some things brought up on their end that I thought were pretty interesting, and I hope that I brought up some pretty interesting points as well. There's just stuff that I think gets lost in translation. Yeah. So I thought it was a good time. Meister says, I'm nervous about how fans react to Marok. Well, so I watched, shout out to Star Wars Sith, man. I watched his video. So after Friday's stream, obviously I talked about the Marok thing on Friday's stream. And he watched the stream and he made a video. And I thought it was a really cool video. Sort of short and simple to the point. But one of the things he said was, I'm actually glad I heard about this now, because if I would have watched this, if watching it revealed was the first time, I would have been pissed. So I'm a little prepared for it, is what he said. And I agree. I agree with that, which is actually why I think J.J. Abrams leaked the script for The Rise of Skywalker, because I feel like he knew people were going to be pissed. And so he leaked it out to try to soften the blow. I mean, that's just what I think. That's what I think is happening. Okay. Mariana says, I got into a nasty debate with a YouTube troll about Ahsoka. I asked him to back off, and he called me the C word. After Ahsoka is done, I'm going to take a break from Star Wars on social media. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that happened to you. Second of all, I will say, I was looking at some of the comments on my video from yesterday. And, man, I'm not trying to be a dick, but Star Wars fans are kind of the worst, bro. I really do feel like the Star Wars fandom is not a great fandom. There are problems in every fandom. Every fandom has some buttholes and some issues. But Star Wars fans, and I've been low-key trying to say this to Theory for 2 years, and he just refuses to accept it. But that's fine. He doesn't have to. But this is how I feel. I think Star Wars fans has the most toxic positive folks and toxic negative folks. It has the biggest grouping of both groups. And it really does make the experience of being a Star Wars fan less pleasant. Like 100%. That's what I think. So I and by the way, a little bit of that is kind of on Disney. Disney sort of allowed that division to fester, and in some ways stoked the flames, and kind of created the environment that we're in right now. But like, I look at my comments on Star Wars videos, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like, just it is literally not the best fandom. So I think that sucks. Sorry that happened to you. James says, I mated the stream. I mated the stream. I'm really not sure what to do with that one. Thank you. Elijah says, Mariana, can you grab some pizza rolls while you're gone? Oh, pizza rolls would be great. Pizza rolls would be dope. And then look, here's what we got to do. Those among us that are reasonable Star Wars fans, you know what we got to do, right? Do you know? Chat. Do you know what we've got to do? Hello, chat. That's why we need unity. Well, look, I'm not even kidding. Like, that is a huge part of why I'm doing this comic book. It's a huge part of why I need to bring this IP to life, because we do need more independent stuff, and we need stuff that's more connected to a fan base. Absolutely. That's a huge part of what I'm doing. But do you know what we got to do? We need a mass exodus from the Star Wars fandom into Rebel Moon. I'm sorry. That's what it is. That's what it is. We need a mass exodus from the Star Wars fandom to the Rebel Moon world. That is what it is. Not happening. Boo. No. But why? But why, chat? Tell me why. The creator looks cooler. The creator looks very cool. Rebel Moon ain't it, Chief. Explain to me why. Rebel Moon is neat, but it doesn't have the magic. Well, you haven't seen it yet, so you don't know. Why did you time me out? I did not time you out, but maybe I will. I don't know, bro. Shit. Rebel Moon garbage, but why? Why do you feel that way? It's all on merch. If they come out with cool merch, fans will shift. You mean you're talking more? I think in like the action figures and this space, right? Of like, yeah, that good stuff, huh? Tell me why it ain't nothing but a heartache. Wait, what? Rebel Moon and Warhammer are going to replace Star Wars. Dude, I'm not even kidding you. I was talking to somebody. How do I say this? I was talking to somebody that I know people that have literally worked on Star Wars under Disney. And those people are telling me they think Rebel Moon is going to eat Star Wars' lunch. They think Rebel Moon, they're actually excited, and they want Rebel Moon to have such an impact that Star Wars needs to like wake up. Yeah, that's what it is. We need a mass exodus. A mass exodus from the Star Wars fandom into the Rebel Moon fandom. That's what we need. That's what I'm prescribing. Maverick Pilgrim says, in my opinion, they are going to soft Highlander 2 Secret Invasion. No one really watched it. They can ignore some of the big reveals. Dude, I would love to believe that's true, but there's no way. Like, there is no way that's going to happen, dude. I would love it. There's technically a way they could do it via, like, weird timeline, multiversal kind of stuff, but, you know, I just don't know about that. Figlet, which is a weird name, says, Joshua, have you seen the new Godzilla trailer that dropped today? Nerdgasmic. Well, it feels very akin to the old Godzilla stuff. I liked it. I thought the trailer was cool. But it's just Godzilla destroying a bunch of stuff and killing a bunch of people, which is cool. But that doesn't, like, I don't know why I should get excited about this as compared to like some other stuff that's going on, you know? So I don't know about that. Will Disney Plus keep the Tuesday release? Yeah, I don't know. We talked about this earlier. I would prefer them to go to like a Thursday or Friday, but I think for a while they're going to be on that Tuesday thing. Mo from the Foe says 13 months, huh? Well, this has officially outlasted my longest relationship. And my ex said I couldn't commit to anything. Nerd Ventures for life. Well, there you go, Mo. I appreciate it, brother. Mo from the Foe says, glad we finally have a full Marvel stream again. I don't watch the Ahsoka streams. Because not only are you the Scoopa King, you're the spoiler king as well. Yeah, a little bit. Sorry. Good being in the tower. How is Godson? Oh, dude, he's doing great. He's so big, man. He's so big. And, you know, we were talking. I got to hang out with him a good bit yesterday. Got some work done in the morning. And then I watched him and Elisa, like, went to the gym and just had, like, a really good time hanging out with him. The one thing about Liam that's kind of different than most babies. Babies are usually very easily distracted. Meaning, like, let's say they want something and they cry because you won't give it to them. You could, like, sing a song, you know, put on something on the TV, take them into a different room, and usually they get distracted and they're like, yo, you know? Not Liam. Like, he'll want something. And like my glasses, for instance, and he always loves to like take my glasses off, and then like I'll take the glasses off, I'll put them on a shelf or I'll put them somewhere. He'll go for it. We'll take him into another room. I'll try to like get him to like, you know, break his loop and not be. He will get up, go back to the glasses, and like try to get the glasses. He's very determined, and it's pretty interesting to watch his mind at work, man. It's really wild. But being a dad is awesome. Highly recommend it. Oh boy. Czech Republic says, hey, Josh, it's funny in Batman Beyond, Return of the Jedi, Terry trolls Joker at the end, and it's hilarious. Crazy they didn't do live action Beyond like 5 years ago. It's crazy in Batman Beyond, Return of the Jedi trolls Joker at the end. It's hilarious. Yeah, they should have probably done Batman Beyond a long time ago. It was a no-brainer, to be honest. Toasted Bricks says, yo, Josh, Nerd Theory tonight? Yeah, that is the plan. Logan says, when you said Maroc was just smoke, I thought you meant like a smoke screen and it's just a rando or a new character. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about that publicly. We'll see how it all goes down. Maybe tomorrow night, to be honest with you. Steve says, hey, yo, easy 10K boost for Unity. Offer the first 100 copies as numbered copies. X 100 for 100 each as an add-on. I've seen people do projects, even 11. Okay. Yeah. I'm not against that, but I have some other ideas. Before I would pull the trigger on something like that. And also, like, I don't know, trade paperback, it just feels a little different than like having floppies and like a first edition or whatever. But we've got some plans, man. We're going to do some bundles, and there's also going to be an incentive to get some of the bundles. You know what I mean? So I definitely have some stuff cooking to give us that boost for sure. And we also have a lot of promotion to do as well. So, Josh, you sure you won't be sued by Valiant for using Unity as the name of the comic? Well, you can never say for sure if you're going to be sued or not. But no, I don't see that happening. Unity should be sort of ambiguous enough to not be tied up to any copyright thing. The book is also totally different than what they have going on over there. So, yeah, no, I don't think so. But you never know. Young says sub or dub for OP. You're gonna love the lore, bro. I'd probably do dubbed. I know that's like a blasphemous thing in anime or whatever, but I want the ability to like not have to read everything. You know what I mean? Ross says no Zeb in Ahsoka. Hate that, bro. Not Rebels season 5. Yeah, no Zeb. I mean, it's kind of a bummer for sure. I also think Zeb could bring some needed masculine energy to the show. I mean, there's a lot I want to say about it, but I don't want to get too spoilery or talk about stuff we haven't seen yet. So let's just let's wait till tomorrow night. Let's watch what happens, and then we'll have our commentary. You know what I mean? And trust me, we will have some commentary tomorrow. You know? Logan says, with a $10 holla, is saying, the way you feel about Rebel Moon is how I feel about The Creator. New sci-fi IP with Star Wars elements that fans can rally around. Gareth and John D. Washington will cook. Only Dune is more anticipated for me. So, one of the reasons I think Rebel Moon is going to be more in line with what Star Wars fans would want than The Creator is, like, I'm absolutely sure there's world building in The Creator, but I know that the world building for Rebel Moon is something Zach's been working on for like 20 years. It has a massive lore. Like, the lore for Rebel Moon is crazy. Very extensive. So I think a very well thought out and well built world is a huge thing that Star Wars fans like. Like, when you get into Star Wars, and it really, I've talked about this before, but like, this really began with the West End Games RPG, which, like, strangely enough, a guy like Dave Filoni was super into West End games. A guy like Sam Witwer, super into West End games. What West End Games was the first time that they took all of the world building of Star Wars and put it into an RPG. And the reason you need it in an RPG is because, like, essentially the way you're interacting with the world has to be consistent. So in order to do that, you need the whole thing. You need all the rules, the whole lore. What does it all mean? How does this connect to that? What kind of ammunition? What kind of power sources? What kind of droids? What kind of weapon? Like, you need that kind of stuff. And that is absolutely a huge factor as to why Star Wars was as popular as it was. So that's a big part of why I think Rebel Moon's got the juice, baby, is because of that lore. Logan says, speaking of Dune, what are your thoughts on it? With the slight decline of Marvel and Star Wars, I've found myself really diving into the lore and IP lately. You know what's interesting about Rebel Moon? And this is something I don't understand it. I wonder if you guys have an explanation for it. Why has Denis Villeneuve never had a very successful movie? Or I should say, why do his blockbusters not perform at the level they should? Because I think they're great, but even his Blade Runner, like, that was not a very successful movie. Marketing? Too art house? Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I'm going to tell you something kind of interesting to sort of tie into this. So I was talking to Fernie yesterday, and I'm not trying to blow up Fernie's spot or whatever, but we were talking about Ahsoka and whatnot, and he was saying, like, well, he just has, like, some normies in his life, and he was just, like, asking, like, I think it was, like, his uncle or something, and his uncle literally just said, like, it's slow, and there's too many female characters. And I know some of you are going to really get upset about that and be like, bleh. But, like, bro, like, that's just what a normal-ass dude, without the baggage, without the online shit, that's just a normal-ass dude that watched Ahsoka and said, it's boring and it's a bunch of chicks. And I just think at some level, it's worth understanding that, like for instance, for you and me, or for most of us, like, they're not just chicks. Like, this is Hera Syndulla. This is Sabine Wren of House Wren. And this is Ahsoka, the Padawan of Anakin. Like, we get that and we know that. But I think it's worth realizing that to a lot of outside people that don't, like, they're not so into it that they've watched cartoons as adults for, you know what I mean? Like, we have to be real here. And one of the things I've been saying about Ahsoka is, like, I'm really enjoying the show, but dude, it is slow. And dude, it is a bunch of chicks. So, like, on the one hand, it's like, I really respect Dave for just telling the story he wanted to tell. But I think at some level, we have to understand that, like, that might not have been the move. The show would literally be more successful if they found Ezra and Thrawn immediately. You know what I mean? Because the dynamic's totally different. It's not as slow. There's more male energy in the show. And I just think like some normal ass dudes that like work a 9 to 5 and they get off and they're just looking for some entertainment, like their sensibilities are different than us. And I say all of that because I think that's possibly what happens with Dennis as well. Where like you look at the first Dune, I really like the first Dune, but it is boring. Like, do you know what I mean? And so like, if you're just a dude or a gal that only gets to go to the movies like 4 or 5 times a year, maybe, right? And you're going out to spend $20-some a ticket in a major market, and you know another 20 on concessions, and you're gonna sit there for hours. I just don't know. Like maybe that's not the move, you know. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting because I really like Dennis, man. I think he's great. Did we just watch what's the Alien John he did with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner? Y'all know what I'm talking about? What was that movie? That movie's dope, bro. Arrival. Oh, it's so good. It is like a movie that will make you feel things. You know what I mean? Very good. But I wonder how many people would go see Arrival. You know what I mean? Like, how many people are going to watch that in theater? That's what I mean is like, to make art that is commercially viable in a country that is as diverse and different as America is a skill. To make 4-quadrant mass appeal art is a skill. And it is not the same skill as being a good storyteller. So sometimes the good storyteller needs input from producers, input from marketing. You know, it's not always like, oh, let's just let the storyteller tell their story. You know what I mean? And you even look at a guy like Tarantino. I mean, I think Tarantino's most successful movie was Inglourious Basterds. And, like, look at the box office of Tarantino. Like, he's never really been a 4-quadrant draw. Everybody understands he's incredible. But, like, he's not like Peter Jackson. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It is kind of an interesting difference. And I'm not really sure 100%, like, how it all works. But that's just kind of some of my thoughts on it. Let's see here. John, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers. John also says, go back Unity. Love y'all. Nerd Avengers for life. Hey, I appreciate it, man. And go back Unity. Burn Meat says, you say proper Batman, but really you mean Conroy. Battinson is a phenomenal fresh take. Would you say Miller Batman is like Loeb? Miller Batman is like Loeb? Would I say Frank Miller Batman is like Jeff Loeb Batman? Is that what you're saying? But both are proper. Yeah, so obviously Batman has had a lot of different variations in the comics. And when I say like a proper Batman, I guess what I'm really saying is like that sort of, you know, Danny O'Neill, you know, time period where they sort of take it more seriously. And then, yes, there is like the Frank Miller aspect in there as well. Sort of like Silver Age coming into the modern age of Batman. But I would argue like, you look at Scott Snyder's Batman, the stuff that he did with Capullo, and I still think it plays off of that established Silver Age version of Batman. And I think, you know, it's funny because you're talking about like Frank Miller or like Jeff Loeb, but what about Grant Morrison? I mean, I think Grant Morrison's Batman is very, very much in a line with the Frank Miller stuff. There are differences, but it feels like Morrison was like just taking some of those principles and extending them to like a wider scope. Like the Grant Morrison's Batman is thinking and considering things on a multiversal level and like, you know, just really in tune. He's that guy, like he's that Batman, just like on a bigger scale. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm talking about. And to me, I just don't know that we've ever seen that full package of Batman because, like, Batman is truly a specimen. And like weirdly, like his willpower and intelligence is a part of his power. And he's capable of like some really crazy things. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess the best way I can say it is like, I feel like movies often try to make Batman make sense instead of understanding that like Batman breaks all the rules, and that is because he's Batman. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Prince Zodiac says, persistent, good trait to inherently nurture that. Yeah, no, exactly. That's one of the things is like, we've talked a lot about that. And it goes back into that One Piece discussion a little bit, because like we were watching that and we were like, dude, Luffy is such a cool character. I would love for my son to want to be more like Luffy and to want to be that guy and to have like that proper role model. You know what I mean? And it feels really cool. But yeah, we're gonna try to cultivate that for sure. Jeremy says, great to see you on VR's stream last night. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Everyday Star Wars says, hey Josh, hope you're having a great day. If Ahsoka does not mind blow us in any way, they need to take a huge break, retcon everything that is bad, and keep the good shit like the animated shows. I tend to agree. I guess the thing I'm really curious about is like, dude, there's some absolutely wild stuff coming. And I think there's going to be stuff that is so damn cool that people are going to be like, yo, like, I really would not mind more of that. My concern is that the show itself has started off in such a weird way that there might not be enough people to say, oh, but the show was good. And a lot of people continue to hate or doubt on Filoni. I will say this, though, and this is definitely controversial, but if this show cannot do better than Andor numbers, I would personally literally gut the entire company, including Dave. Which is like, I know some of you guys would be like, what? I'm telling you this. I love Dave Filoni. I went to the same college as Dave Filoni. Filoni came back and literally taught me some cool shit about storytelling and art. And I'll never forget that. I have a lot of reverence for the guy. I really like the guy. But I love Star Wars more than I love Dave Filoni. And if the only hope for Star Wars is to gut everything and start over, or to just take a big break and recalibrate, if that's the only scenario, I choose that over Dave. And I know that's weird and that probably sounds crazy, but like, real talk, man, here's what I would say to you. We are living through Dave's dream project, Dave's biggest shot, his biggest opportunity, where he probably had the most control ever with a character he created. We are living through almost essential epitome Dave Filoni Star Wars. And I ask you, do you feel like this is saving Star Wars? Do you feel like the fandom is having a good time? And that's an honest question. I don't know. I don't really feel that way. It's possible some of you do. But like, that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? So it's a tough one. I mean, it is a tough one. And a lot of this is not Dave's fault. Like, it is not Dave's fault that Kenobi was the way it was, or Book of Boba Fett was the way it was. And on and on and on. You know what I mean? So, look, we've got plenty of time here, but I'm just saying that, like, if this show can't crack out of Andor numbers, I mean, wow. Okay, Perez says, leaks aside, still hyped for the rest of Ahsoka. I'm incredibly excited for Ahsoka, which may sound ironic considering everything I just said, but it's not. Logan says, follow up, bingo. I love Dune and BR 2049, but my casual film friends don't fuck with them. Too slow for them. But man, the filmmaking at display is too good to not appreciate. Dune 2 will be much faster though. Can't wait. And that's the thing, is like, even Dennis kind of agrees and made apparently the second one with a much faster pace. And I think he's trying to 4-quadrant it, because at the end of the day, like, again, it's a skill. And here's the thing. If those movies flop, like if Dune 2 flops and people just reject it, then Dennis has to kind of go do smaller scale stuff, and the trajectory is bad for his career. So again, it is a skill. You get paid the big bucks to be a big time director for a 4-quadrant movie because it is a skill worth paying for to be able to attract that wide audience. So yeah, even he doesn't want that to happen. But sometimes it's like swallowing your pride and understanding that your sensibilities are not the sensibilities of the audience, right? Because here's the thing. I watch dry ass podcasts, lengthy videos that are really deep and weird shit like that. I recognize that my tastes are not all of your tastes. So I try not to get out here, or when I make a video, I try not to linger on these points and just do this very dry, because I understand just because I like it doesn't mean y'all are gonna like it. It also doesn't mean that people that like Marvel are just gonna automatically like deep diving on, all these esoteric things. Does that make sense? Kyle says, after many long fought battles, we've finally done it. Josh made me finally join the Straw Hats. Oh yeah, I'm all in on the Straw Hats, bro. I get it. I get it. Leonard says, I'm feeling your take on Ahsoka. If Star Wars content was great prior to the show, I think the show would have been able to thrive with the lack of males. Yeah, for sure. If that show came out, if there was no Book of Boba Fett, no Kenobi, no Andor, if this exact show came out after Mando season 2, I still think you'd have some people what? But it would not be anywhere near where we're at right now. A lot of the hate, anger, and frustration is because of these other shows. You know what I mean? And Kenobi, I think, was the worst one. I think Kenobi broke everything because it was the biggest one for Star Wars. You know what I mean? So when you have the biggest show with the biggest characters, and it disappoints in the way that show did, I mean, that's not good, bro. That's not good, bro. One Piece has always been such a delight. One of those things that made me feel damn it, why have I allowed myself to be missing out on this for so long? Yeah, I hear you, man. It's really cool. I legitimately really like it. So I'm excited to get into the anime. Oh, man. Guys, I am hot as a ball sack right now. Sorry for the kids. That's inappropriate, but it's true. I got to get out of here because I'm sweating. I'm very sweaty, okay? So I appreciate you guys. Tomorrow, Nerdvengers stream. Hopefully going to talk a little bit about the New York Comic Con meetup. Hopefully going to talk about Unity a little bit. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11. I will see you later tonight for a Nerd Theory. And we'll talk all about exciting Star Wars things. And go check out Unity on Kickstarter if you have not. If you back the Kickstarter by Wednesday, you are automatically entered to win the very first action figure from the Unity comic. And I'm going to hand paint this myself. So it'll be a one-of-one collector's item. Make sure you back Unity by Wednesday to be able to win this dope action figure. All right, everybody. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? What a nice little Monday stream. Some good news, some bad news, and a lot of discussion. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your attention. The likes, the subscribes, the memberships, the super chats, the member chats, the chat. Appreciate the support on Unity. Thank you. And I'm not leaving. Despite how dark it might get, I'm not leaving. And it's all good because Rebel Moon's going to take over and we're all going to get really excited about that anyway. Okay, all right. Make sure you open up your third eye. And wash out that stinky butt. I'll see you later. It's not a doll!